Alrighty, guys and gals, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Misty Mountain Gaming channel. I am Big E, doing a little one-on-one check-in with you here. I am super excited and super psyched to Wednesday. I think this is going to happen Wednesday. They're going to start Season 2 of Lord of the Ring, a custom hardcore challenge. Now, this idea, I'm giving full credit. I stole this idea 100% from Nixium, and I actually stole it like a year and a half ago. We did Lord of the Ring hardcore cinematic kind of challenge about a year and a half ago, I think, at this point. When I saw him do this years ago, I thought it was just awesome. This is way before I had the channel. I was like, I need to do this. Anyway, you know, a year or whatever later, I've got a channel, and I was like, I need to do it, and we did it, and I had a hell of a lot of fun with it. I tried to get creative and put some cinematics and stuff in there. But yes, all credit goes to Nixium. I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan, and I'm a massive WoW fan, and those two worlds just intersect perfectly. Same thing with Dungeons & Dragons. So we're incorporating dice into this as well. So I've basically taken his idea. I wouldn't say I've made it mine, but I've changed it up a little bit in certain areas. And I highly suggest checking out Nixium. He doesn't need a shout out from me. That guy's big time. You know, he's a big time YouTuber, streamer, IRLer, whatever. He doesn't know about me. That doesn't matter, but I want to give credit where credit is due. Very creative dude, interesting Let's Plays and streams over there. Anyway, today is a Monday for me, so this isn't going to make a lot of sense. This video, I think, will come out today. It might come out on Tuesday. That doesn't matter. What matters is that this Wednesday, I think we're going to start the Lord of the Rings Seasons 2 challenge. And one of the reasons I'm so excited about this is because, like I said, we're going to merge Warcraft, Lord of the Rings, that whole dynasty, and some Dungeons & Dragons. Now, Dungeons & Dragons, it's just dice. We're going to be rolling dice. Anyway, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over the core rule set for this challenge. Yes, I am. Let's go live. Hopefully I've put some background music in here. Okay. The D20 Lord of the Ring challenge. Okay. The One Ring has been lost somewhere in Azeroth, and a single 20-sided die will determine your destiny. The fate of all beings is in your hands. And the die. Yes. Roll a 20-sided die. If it's even, you play as the Alliance. If it's odd, you will play as the Horde. You can choose your race and class, but read carefully the slides to come, because there are pros and cons for races and classes. Yes, there are. Okay. If you happen to be playing as the Alliance, this is your quest objective, okay? You, insert your name, race, class, and starting zone, have been chosen by fate. Your single purpose is to find the One Ring and then make a perilous journey into the very heart of Blackrock Mountain, where you will cast it into the Lake of Fire. All of Azeroth is counting on you. Once the ring is found, take care to resist its dark and alluring power. What does that mean? That means you must make a saving roll every 3 levels to resist its power. Now, the One Ring, before I go further, the One Ring is the very first ring you find in the world. It could be a quest reward. It could be a random drop, whatever. It's the very first ring. And I'm going to put another asterisk here. The very first ring that you can equip, because I believe there is a ring that you can find, we found it in Season 1, that can't be equipped initially. It's Delilah's ring. It has to be equipable. Now, that follow-up quest there does lead to an equipable ring, but just note that. Anyway, so depending on your race, you are going to have to make Well, you're going to have to make a saving throw regardless, but it's going to be determined by your race. For instance, say your saving throw is a 5. If you roll a 4 or less, you succumb to the Dark Lord's will. You equip the ring, revealing yourself to him, and your quest has failed. So we'll go over this in a minute here. More specifics. If you roll odd and you are the Horde, here is your quest objective. The One Ring has been lost for years untold, but now an unspeakable malignancy is stirring. The Dark Lord has now focused all of his great will on finding the ring, the One Ring. You, insert your name, race, class, starting zone, have been chosen by fate to find this one powerful ring and bring it back into the very heart of Black Rock Mountain, into the Dark Lord himself. I realized I messed up the wording here. Doesn't matter. Now, here is the core rule set, or the cool rule set, however you want to word it. It is permadeath, but notice there's an asterisk here, and I'll get to that. Professions are allowed, and any benefit from those professions are allowed. If you can make potions, you can use them. If you can make gear, you can wear them. Whatever benefit comes from those professions are allowed. All buffs, potions, scrolls, etc. are allowed. There is something called a journey penalty. Thank you, Nixium. I've changed this up a little bit. Journey penalty. We're going for an RP kind of thing here. You know, kind of realistic, you know, whatever in a fantasy world. You can only repair your gear once per 5 levels. And this is going to be a little bit hard to remember. So you're going to need a journal. Okay? You're going to need a quest journal. A piece of paper, man. And a pencil or a pen. That's right. Once every 5 levels. Now, if your gear happens to break, it must be deleted. You've got to get rid of it. If it's broken, get rid of it. That's just how it is. Now, as far as food and stuff like that, you can only eat food that you cook. So if you get a quest reward and it's some 5 stacks of some amazing Azeroth cheese or some dwarven cheese, whatever, you can't eat it. Just sell it. Now, if you pick up the cooking skill, then you can make whatever you want. And if you pick up the cooking skill, it would be beneficial to harvest meat. It would be beneficial to fish, okay? There is no auction house, no trading, no mailbox, no groups. This is where mine differs. Well, mine differs a lot in Nixium's rules. Well, I think with Nixium rules, he does allow groups for like dwarves and hobbits and gnome, whatever. That's a cool idea, but not here, not this one. Now, here are the races that are allowed. If you're Alliance, you can only be a human, dwarf, or a gnome, okay? If you have rolled the Horde, you can only be undead, orc, or troll. And here are the class restrictions for said races allowed. Humans can only be warriors or mages. Dwarves can only be warriors. Gnomes can be warriors or rogues. Okay? Okay. Only warriors or rogues. Okay. Undead, only warriors or mages. You see how this kind of lines up here. Orcs can only be warriors. Trolls can be warriors or hunters. Yes. Keep this in mind. Now, here are class-specific restrictions. This is where it gets interesting. Thank you, Nixium. Rogues cannot use stealth at any time. So if you're a rogue, you get the ring, you can't stealth your way into Blackrock Mountain. By the way, think very carefully about going into Blackrock Mountain. Now this, the thing about the first season we did, as soon as you found the ring, you had to take it immediately, no matter what level you were. This is not the same. If you find this ring at level 18, if you went to Blackrock Mountain, you would get obliterated on the way. Trust me. You would get destroyed trying to get into Blackrock Mountain. The surrounding areas, not necessarily Blackrock Mountain itself. So you're going to have to wait. It's just a chance you're going to have to take. You're going to have to get leveled up. When you feel comfortable that you can make your way in, you do it. But rogues can use Vanish, okay? It's not the same thing. So you're kind of allowed. Vanish has that CD on it, right? Get in a panicky situation, you can vanish. Careful if you've got a dot on you, but you can't stealth, okay? Now, once you come out of vanish, that's fine. Now, you might say you can still cheese that. You can just keep going. I guess you can, but that's the rule set for rogue. Now, if you're undead, if you're an undead mage, you must spec 100% into the fire tree. You have to be a fire mage. And here's a big one. Thank you, Nixim. You can only choose 4 abilities ever. Okay? What does that mean? That means if you know the fire tree, or if you're human mage, you've got to be 100% frost here. You know the frost tree and you want an ability, be careful what you pick. Because if you've already picked 4, you cannot pick that other one. You can't drop an ability to get something else. That means don't train it. Okay, if you've got something that you know you can get at level 20, you're going to have to sacrifice something else earlier and not use that ability. And this conjure food and water does count. Keep this in mind, okay? Now, for human mage, same rules as the undead mage, except you must spec 100% into the frost tree. So the way that these rules are set up, this is replayable so many different times. I think it's an amazing idea. Now, warriors can only wear gear that they craft. Here's the exception. Your starting gear and your weapon is okay to keep. Just start with that gear. However, all gear upgrades have to be made. So what does that mean? That means you're going to have to be a blacksmith. That means you're going to have to pick up mining. That's right. This is just how it is. Now, the weapon does not count. If you get a weapon from a drop or quest reward, you can use it. Okay, but as far as your gear goes, you have to craft all upgraded gear that you get. If you choose a hunter, which is going to be the troll, your pet is permadeath. That means you have to tame a new pet if your pet dies. That pet is gone. Yeah, that's how it is. Now, moving on. Here are some racial pros and cons of what you choose. This also makes it more interesting. If you are a gnome, you can only use daggers and you cannot wear any shoes. Thank you, Nixium. Think of hobbits, right? Only daggers, no shoes. So that means as soon as you roll your character, be sure to delete your shoes if you're wearing any. I think you start with adventurer's shoes or something with no armor or whatever. Get rid of them. This would work better with a dwarf, but dwarves are dwarves in Lord of the Rings, and we're looking at gnomes kind of like hobbits, okay? Now, dwarves can only have 2 bags on them. Nixium had a great rule set about why. Because dwarves are long-distance runners, great over the long distance or whatever that was. So you can only have 2 bags ever. They can be of any size, doesn't matter, but just 2 bags max. And this is my own little special thing here. Dwarves must drink any alcohol that they find. I don't know. I just thought it would be fun. I think they like their mead, right? You pick up alcohol from a drop or whatever, you got to drink it. You get alcohol from a quest reward, you got to pound it. Okay? Not much drawback here, honestly. Human. Now, when humans find the ring initially, this is the only class. Well, I think it's the only class. Let's see. After finding that first ring, quest reward, random drop, whatever, they must take that 20-sided die and they must make a saving throw to resist the ring's power, because humans are easily manipulated by the power. Everybody knows that. So I think the saving throw here is going to be a 7. That's on the next slide, I think. So if you roll a 6 or less, you must restart the challenge as undead. Period. You're done. You couldn't resist the power. Now, if you're an orc, thank you, Nixium. Orcs, low intelligence. Means you cannot learn higher than rank 4 spells and abilities. That's it. Once you hit that rank 4, whatever it might be, you have to stop there. I thought that was brilliant. If you're undead, this is where the asterisk comes in on the permadeath. The undead have unlimited lives. They are undead, right? However, When you die, you have to destroy all of your gear. You can keep your weapon, but you've got to destroy all of your gear if you choose to res. So you can make that run right away. This might be the way to play it, but this is going to depend on the fate of the dice that you roll. Yeah. Now, trolls. Trolls can, I don't know why I didn't underline that there, can only use bows and axes, which isn't really a big drawback for trolls because I'm pretty sure they start with bows and axes. Now, we may refine and fine-tune these as we go. I think I might need something a little bit more punishing for the undead here. This might change, because as I read it out loud, this is going to probably be the best way to do it. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on here. Now, here are the saving throws based on your class, or your race, rather. Humans have to roll 7 or better. Orcs have to roll 7 or better. Dwarves, gnomes, undead, and troll have to roll 5s or better on a 20-sided dice. So humans and orcs, you got to get 6 or less. Dwarfs, gnomes, undeads, trolls, a 4 or less. That is it. Every 3 levels. And if you fail, that's it. You're done. Challenge is over. It's punishing. Yes, it is. Now, the challenge is considered complete when, as the Alliance, you take the ring to the lowest point in Blackrock Mountain via the chains, cast it into the fire, delete it from your inventory. Okay? As the Horde, take the ring to the floating rock structure. It's up higher. It's easier to get to. It's in the center of the lake. You get there by the chains as well. Perform a kneel, and then take a screenshot of the ring in your bag, and then time played for both here. Just do time played. You don't have to do the thumbnail. Just let's show your time played. Thank you, Nixium. And that is the Lord of the Ring Challenge rule set. Now, it's going to be a lot to think about. Like I said, keep a journal. If you're back here, if you roll Alliance, right? This is what you get. This is what you have to choose from. So you say, okay, I'm Alliance. I have selected a human mage. Make sure you come in here and write this down. I can only spec 100% frost. I can only have 4 abilities. I have to make a saving throw right off the bat of a 6 or less. Not to mention every 3 levels, you've got to make a saving throw. Every 3 levels. The Alliance, you must make a saving roll of every 3 levels to resist the power of the ring. The Horde have the same thing, but I didn't put it in here. But make sure you write that down. Anyway, that is the challenge, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to try to be creative. We're going to have some cinematics in there, perhaps, if I can. Now, I was thinking about live streaming these. The problem with me live streaming these is I will die. I will die a horrible death. Yes, because I'll be distracted. So what I might do, what I think I'm going to do here, I might live stream the character creation and maybe the first part, because you're not in that much danger in the starting zone, okay? Maybe I'll live stream up until the point until we get out of the starting zone. Then we'll go from there. I don't know, but I think my chances of surviving this are drastically reduced if I'm live streaming, because I'm going to be looking over here at chat, right? Anyway, I welcome you to try this challenge. Also, again, big shout out to Nixium. He was the inspiration for this. He was the inspiration for Season 1, and he's damn sure the inspiration for Season 2. I give credit where credit is due. Anyway, looking forward to it. Possibly look for a live stream sometime Wednesday. And if you can't catch the live stream, if I decide to do the live stream, you can always find it later on the live stream tab on the channel, which is like the 3rd or 4th tab over at the top. But anyway, that is it for me. You guys and gals, take care. Happy Monday to you. See you Wednesday. Peace.